So if you're watching this video, you are probably excited for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And I'm just kind of here to talk about the game since I've never really talked about it since its conception. I've kind of avoided the topic in general. The last time I've talked about Tears of the Kingdom was when I did my Legend of Zelda collection video way back then. And then even so, I barely briefly mentioned my thoughts on Breath of the Wild. I kind of want to just briefly talk about my thoughts on Breath of the Wild before talking about my thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom coming up. When it comes to Breath of the Wild, I really love the game. If I counted the game just on a gameplay standpoint, it would probably be like a 10 out of 10 game for me. It's like the most perfect thing you could do with Zelda in the modern era, right? Gameplay wise. I love it. And there's some things that they can tweak here and there, but it was as good as it can get for that time, 6-7 years ago when it came out. And then the beautiful thing about Tears of the Kingdom, especially in the gameplay trailers you've seen, it seems to be taking that formula that Breath of the Wild started and expanding upon it. And I love that. That's really great, and I hope they continue to do that. Now, this time around, looks like they're taking the story way more seriously. That was one of my minor complaints with Breath of the Wild. And it brought it from a 10 out of 10 game to like maybe an 8 out of 10 is just because I felt like it was a really poor story for the Zelda series. I feel like the Zelda stories have become so cool and fun to go through. I love learning about the different characters. It just makes me feel more invested in the world, right? And while I love Breath of the Wild, its world, the gameplay and stuff, I felt like it could have been more invested if it had a much better story. I was very excited for Breath of the Wild when I saw that final trailer when they announced the Switch as well. And it looked like that was going to be a very story-focused game and they were going to put so much effort into the story. And they kind of didn't. When it comes to the story, I want to see more meat this time. And I think that based on this trailer, we're going to get a lot of it. We're going to get a lot more Zelda. We're going to get a more interesting villain, right? So there's a lot of stuff about the story part of this trailer that I love. But I have reservations just because I had those same thoughts when Breath of the Wild came out, and I just don't want to be disappointed again. So I'm just gonna keep reservations. When I play the game, I'm gonna play as if it was a sequel to Breath of the Wild, which is a gameplay focused game. And if the story is amazing, I'll talk about it when the game is released. However, if it's not, you know, grand or what I wanted it to be, then I'm not gonna be disappointed because I'm not expecting that, if that makes sense. I'm expecting a sequel to Breath of the Wild, and I'm expecting it to still be gameplay focused, if that makes sense. So that's my number one reservation when it comes to Tears of the Kingdom. Other than that one thing, everything I've seen about this game, I'm over the moon about. I'm so excited for the fusion ability that they have going on with the different items. I'm so glad that we're going to go into the sky. I hope that maybe they incorporate some stuff from the Hyrule Historia. I know some people don't like that stuff, like incorporating too much from the past Zelda games onto this one because they feel like it bogs it down. I totally get it, and I'm personally someone that doesn't even need Ganondorf in every single Zelda game. I really love Majora's Mask. It's my second favorite Zelda game. Ganondorf is not even mentioned in that game. At least I don't think so. So I don't need Ganondorf in my Zelda. Like, I really don't. I don't need the Ganon Zelda Link thing. I don't. However, when they do it right, it comes off really great. Twilight Princess, Wind Waker are two great examples where they do it almost perfectly. And if you really think about it, we haven't had a story revolving Ganondorf, Zelda, and Link for quite some time. I would say since Twilight Princess, and Twilight Princess came back way back then on the Wii. So Ocarina of Time is when they introduced Ganondorf, Twilight Princess, and Wind Waker, like the other two games. And this is gonna be like the fourth game. I like the idea of the Ocarina of Time Ganondorf, like kind of like being a constant thing that tries to be revived. It kind of gives me, if you guys know this reference, then please, I know it's a JoJo reference, but it kind of gives me like a Dio vibes, I guess. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm really looking forward to Ganondorf coming back. I think he's going to be a very compelling villain and something that we really need because the last villain, Calamity Ganon, fun fight, kind of easy, but it was a fun fight. But it was also a little disappointing because there's not really a lot of meat to the villain. I couldn't really attach myself to him. That's another thing I'm looking forward to in this Tears of the Kingdom. If they're bringing Ganondorf back, I'm excited for it. It's been a while since we've had him, and I'm okay with it being the same Ganondorf from Ocarina of Time. I want to see where that goes. Overall, I think this game is going to be great, and I don't want to have such high hopes for the story. I'm expecting a lot of great things gameplay-wise, but overall, guys, I'm super excited about this. You know, I already pre-ordered the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch, the OLED model. I was able to get that. It was so hard to talk about that. I'll probably unbox it. I'm going to be really excited to even just talk about the game when it comes out, and I'm really excited to talk about the Zelda series. I think I'm going to try to talk about like one Zelda game a week leading up to Tears of the Kingdom, and then giving my thoughts on the entire series. I wrote notes for everything, so it should be really fun. Hope you guys look forward to that. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.